Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai. So, brothers and sisters, today I want to talk about that Red Fort attack. I had actually put out a video before, but it didn't upload, and I deleted the recording of the video. And in that video, I spoke about the greatest threat to the Hindus and Sanatan Dharma, to the followers of Sanatan Dharma. And I'm sad now that I deleted the video before checking whether or not it actually was successfully uploaded, and I'll redo a video like that, right? But what I want to talk is about this 0.5 front that India faces, Bharat faces, right? And many of you who are familiar with military terminology will know what that 0.5 front is, right? The problem with that 0.5 front is that there are a lot of 0.5 fronts within Bharat. Okay, so there's the Islamists, the Christian missionaries, the Marxists, the Congress, they were also a front, the Dravidianists. There's so many fronts, the Khalistanis, there's so many fronts that it all adds up. Bharat faces a huge internal problem. Okay, and I really love Modi. I love Modi. I think he's the best prime minister that Bharat has ever had, except for Sardar Patel, who only acted as prime minister. Okay, but Modi is compromising. The RSS, they're compromising. Bharat needs to take really aggressive action. Okay, and do not worry about what others say. Okay, and if you put the Hindus first, the followers of Sanatan Dharma first, and especially the lower caste, or the so-called Dalits and Sudras, you have to address the historic and institutionalized discrimination that they have faced by bringing them up to par. Okay, we do not need any social programs and any reservations. Those programs actually impede us. Okay, the only people who support those programs are the people who benefit directly from that. But the vast majority of the Dalit and Sudra community, the secluded tribal community and secluded caste community, the vast majority will never benefit from that. And you have to understand what I'm saying. You will never benefit from that. Say they reserve 20% of all the seats and everything for, right, which they will not do. For the Dalits, the secluded tribe, the secluded caste, the Sudras. Okay? Say they do that. But what if our community outshines everybody and we're qualified for 100%? What if that? And based on my capability, and I've met many people that would be considered Dalits or secluded caste and lower caste and Sudras, who are highly intelligent, highly capable. Okay? It's a large percentage. Okay? You have to remember what I said in my previous videos. The Sudras, the lower caste, it is not lower caste. It is a skilled caste. Okay? It is skilled trades. This word caste has been imposed upon us. Okay? Find me where the word caste. Okay? Don't say Jati and Varna is caste. It is not. It does not have the same meaning nor connotation. Find me where that word caste exists within Hindu scriptures, within Vedic scriptures. It does not. And also, it was introduced. Okay, it was introduced at a later time. Even the term Sudra does not exist in the earlier Hindu scriptures, which are actually more authoritative because they reflect the truth. Okay, and the untouchability entered Dharma not because of Hinduism or Dharma, but because of Buddhism. I put out a video telling you there that untouchability emerged when Buddhism dominated Bharat, because the Buddhists had become more orthodox, right? And they viewed anything to dealing with the killing of animals, raising of animals, anything to do with meat as unclean work, as a way to shame people to move away from that. Okay? And then when Hinduism began to rise again, it was a partnership between the Brahmins and the outcasts that allowed Sanatana Dharma to actually re-emerge. This is what scholars and socialists and Marxists and liberals and the Congress and missionaries and Islamists do not tell you. Okay? And this is what the academia in Bharat does not tell you, because they're so busy following the white man that they have lost their own perspective. And this is a Nehru complex that has been imposed upon Bharat. Okay, he has this inferiority complex that he has imposed and entrenched in Bharat's culture. I've also told you, the Persians went all the way to Greece to conquer the Greeks, but they were afraid to come into Bharat. Why is that? Because we were a martial race. We were fighters, and they could not conquer us. But we lost that when we became so successful, so wealthy, so rich. And we became successful, wealthy, and rich on the backs of the lower caste or the skill caste, what we now call the skill caste. But, the Sudras, or let's call it the tradespeople. Bharat did not rise to economic prominence because of the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas. No, they rose to prominence because of what we now call the lower caste and the Sudras. You need to know that. It is not something that is talked about and it's completely ignored. But ignoring it does not mean it's not true. Okay? So I'm coming back now. I'm talking about this because we need to address this. If this is not addressed, Bharat will not rise. If we do not take our rightful place, Bharat will not rise. And if we do not take our rightful place, we will remain at the margins of society. Okay? I am not appealing. Well, actually, if the Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas want to become more successful and want a successful and emergent and resurgent Bharat, they actually have to support us, because it's not going to happen without us. It will never happen without us. Okay? When Dharma became resurgent, it was because of us. Okay? It was because of us. Okay? What surprises me is how fast everyone is to believe the negative falsehood about Bharat and Dharma, but they are not willing to believe positive truths about Bharat and Dharma. Okay? They're not. And this also includes the Dalit and Sudra community, the secluded tribal community, the secluded caste community. You listen to liars, people who have ulterior motives against you, and you're not willing to take control of your narrative. Okay? You need to take control of your narrative. Okay? Because incidents like the Red Fort and Pahalgam and all these other incidents will continue to happen. Now let's focus on the Red Fort incidents and the Pan-India terror movement. Okay? The movement that I want to create will proactively address this. We will make sure that every religious places of worship is closely monitored. We will target every individual from this community. Whether we have to. Okay? We have to. Okay? And one more thing. One of the things that I want to implement across Bharat is, and this alone will help us weed out a lot of people, is to make a law before you can get an ID card, before you can participate in election, before you can participate fully in Indian life, in the life of Bharat. You must take an oath of loyalty to Bharat. Okay? If your religion comes first then you should not participate and influence Bharat's and dharmic life. And Bharat should not Bharat, but government should not give traitors an opportunity to influence the life of Bharat. Okay, we need to preserve our culture and our ideal culture, our culture as it is, not the culture that we've been told that we have. Okay, there are some things in our culture that we need to get rid of, things that we accumulated that's not part of our culture. We'll get rid of that. Okay, we'll get rid of that. But again, this Red Fort incident, this terror incident at the Red Fort, is what I have been trying to hint at when I say we will implement a nationwide program to proactively target anti-nationals. You have to target anti-nationals, okay? And this is not just going to target people of different religious community. Even those masquerading as Hindus will be monitored, because in my video that did not get uploaded, that I will redo, I talk about the greatest threat to Sanatan Dharma and the Hindus and the follower of Sanatan Dharma. Okay? I want you to think about what the greatest threat to us is. And when I put my next video out, you will see that the greatest threat to us is not whom you think it is. Okay? It's a lot closer to home. So Modi, if you're listening to me, you are being tested and tested and tested and tested again. You've been in power for over 8 years. Had I been in power, had my movement been in power, Bharat will be emerging as a stronger nation. The Indian rupee would be rising to about 20 rupees per US dollar. I would be increasing the purchasing power of the Indians on the international stage. And I will be developing the Indian economy and the Indian consumer market. And I will be heavily promoting Indian products while ensuring, you know what the Jati system did? It ensured quality control. So this is what I will bring back about the Jati system, where we make the best product. We offered the consumer the best product at the best price, because it was all part of, closely intertwined with Dharma. Okay? This is why each Jati had their own deity. And by merging and fusing deity worship with the Jati, they were able to produce a good quality product, hold themselves accountable, and deliver fair and honest value to somebody who was purchasing. And just that you know, within each Jati, there was a leader. Basically, they were the Brahmin within that community. Okay? So, even though they might have been a Chamar or a Sudra, or a Sutta or a Nonya, they would have had a member within that community who functioned as a Brahmin. Okay? But with the missionaries' destruction of that system, by separating the religious from the work and calling it caste system, we have lost our way. You do not hear the liberals talking about this. You do not hear modern Indian education talking about this. There is no movement. There is no movement to correct this. So, what I'm saying, many of you, and I've said this before many times, many of you who are now Dalits and Sudras and secluded castes and secluded tribes may have actually been Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and Brahmins. And you don't know that. But you became an outcast or a low caste or untouchable because the Christian decided that this is who you were. And they took control of your narrative. Okay? They had separated the divine from the occupation. Okay? And it was not a caste. It was a work that you were born into. A guild. That's the word I'm saying. Use a guild. Do you know what the sad thing is? That the modern world is heavily relying on guilds now. They won't call it caste. They won't call it Jati. They call it guilds. But it is a Jati system where this body have a set of laws and rules that ensure every member that works within that occupation, follows those laws, follows those rules, follows those policies, and perform to the best of their ability to deliver service to the best of their ability in an ethical way. You know, now it's called the School of Social Work, the School of Medicine, the Certified Public Accountants, or so many different schools now. They call them schools or bodies or organizations. They're all jatis or guilds. They're all jatis or guilds. Okay? And why is no academic talking about this? Why is no academic talking about this? You know, until we take control of this, these terror incident that happens at the Red Fort, and the Red Fort is a Mughal era monument. I would rather destroy it. And I would rather destroy anything built by the invaders to glorify themselves. Okay? I want to destroy all of that. I want to rid Bharat of all foreign monuments to foreign occupation. I will do that. And when they say, well, we need to, no, we don't need to. The destruction of that will show us that we're taking control of our narrative. Okay? We need to destroy all foreign monuments. Okay? And broadcast it to the world. We are destroying this because we are taking control of our narrative. Okay? Whom the Christian missionaries and the British have decided I'm a low caste, outcast, untouchable. I am telling you, I am proud of Sanatan Dharma. I am proud to be a follower of Sanatan Dharma. I am proud to be a Bharata. Okay? And I will lead this movement. I will lead this movement. Who are they going to blame? High caste Hindus? They cannot do that. They will not be able to do that. And this is why all the high caste Hindus have to support me, because they're all afraid. They're all afraid of doing this because of being called a Bhakt or Hindutva. I don't like the term Hindutva. Okay? I prefer the term Vedanta or Vedic or Bharatya. Okay? But for me, Hindutva, RSS, and BJP, even the Bajrang Dal and Shiv Sena, they're all traitors now. They have compromised. I will not compromise. And I am going to tell you this. I will take away the rights of those who are not loyal to Bharat. If you are not loyal to Bharat, you should not have the right to undermine Bharat. Okay? And every judge, every magistrate, every government employee, their first loyalty must be to the cultural sanctity of Bharat. Okay? Oh, and by the way, I plan for Sanskrit to re-emerge. Okay? I plan for Sanskrit to re-emerge. So brothers and sisters, this Red Fort incident makes me angry because the BJP is in power and it's still happening. Because the BJP is more concerned about holding on to power. I am concerned about preserving Dharma, the followers of Sanatan Dharma, and Bharat, and the re-emergence of Sanskrit. Who do you, as a Sudra, a Dalit, a Hindu nationalist, a proud Sanatani, a proud Bharatya, who do you choose to follow? Somebody who is going to work uncompromisingly for that? Or somebody who's going to compromise so they can hold on to power? Because hear this, I have no plans to become the Prime Minister of Bharat, which means I am not going to compromise. And I will not compromise. I will make deals, but I will not compromise. And never will I allow the money and wealth of Bharat to be used to nourish and sustain the enemies of Dharma and Bharat. I will not give them any breaks. That money is meant for those who follow Sanatan Dharma, who identifies as part of Sanatan Dharma, who are oppressed. That money is being stolen from my community, our community, the oppressed people, the oppressed Hindus, and given to the enemies. And these enemies are now bombing and killing us. Okay, that's why, you know, and a lot of Indians will not will have betrayed and will continue to betray Bharat so that they can hold on to power and so that they can get a little bit of benefit. The movement I'm trying to create will not allow that to happen. So, you know, I am angry because Modi allowed it to happen again. Okay? Brothers and sisters, let my movement take power in Bharat. I will not personally have power in Bharat, which is ideal because then I can control the Prime Minister. Make sure he doesn't compromise and go back on the ideals of this movement. But within 10 years, I assure you, the eastern, western, and northern problems of Bharat will be addressed. I assure you that every member of the Sudra, Dalit, secluded tribal, and secluded caste community will be uplifted, provided that they support this movement. Because there are members there within the community who backstab their own community, who keep their own community oppressed so that they can benefit. Okay? Mayawati is one of them. For her own benefit, she remained in power, allowed criminals to run rampant. She benefited, but the community remained stagnant. Actually, they didn't remain stagnant, they fell further behind. Okay? They didn't even remain stagnant. They fell further behind because members of the community, Mayawati, was putting herself first. I'm not going to do that. I will put the community and Bharat first. So brothers and sisters, please like this video, subscribe to this video and share this video. Let us take Bharat to greater heights. And let me declare to you, I am putting Sanatan Dharma first, Bharat first, and the revival of Sanskrit first. And just that you know, I'm coming clean. The geographical expansion of Bharat as well. This is my goal, the geographical expansion of Bharat as well. Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.